Welcome to Computer Programming. This is Mr. Wilson, your instructor and guide as we take a close look at the computer programming courses here at MacTech. How does it work?
Hey there, gang. Welcome to Computer Programming. I'm Mr. Wilson. Oh, okay. He's actually Mr. Wilson. I'm just a recording of Mr. Wilson. But welcome to Computer Programming anyway. There's a few things that we want to touch on. We want to tell you a little bit about how we run this class. This class is very different than any other class than you've ever been in. First thing, for example, we deal in real-world skills here. My job is to help you be a computer programmer so that when you leave high school, you can go straight out and go to work, or you can go to college and be way ahead of everybody else that's going there. Whitney, ACT Company.
Mr. Wilson's class taught me not only programming fundamentals, but also built my communication and problem-solving skills. This gave me the confidence that I needed to tackle some of my toughest college courses.
Some of the things we do is, number one, we write programs of all different kinds. We write games. I'm sure that'll interest a lot of you. We write phone applications. And we do all of this here just in our classroom as all skills that you can learn to do. Let's talk about some of the other things that we do. Hey there, guys. Let's talk a little bit about what we do that's different in this class. This is a different class than any other class you've ever taken. As I like to tell my students, we just do things a little differently in here. Number one, we do work hard. It's a task to do programming, but that's okay. We're good at it, and I can help make you good at it. First thing, you don't have to know how to do this. We'll teach you everything from logging into the computer, from really the basics of how to start. We do all of our work in here in teams. So you're never on your own. You don't have to try to figure it all out by yourself. You have a team of people that you work with, and you can ask them questions. In fact, I kind of prefer if you do talk with them. I will probably ask you if you have a problem, if you're having trouble with something, have you asked your team and see if they can give you some help, because if one person's sitting next to you and they already know how to do it and you come to me and ask me, I'm going to ask you, did you ask them? Because they'll be glad to show you and work with you. So we all work together, and we all have strengths. There's things we're good at. There's things we're not. I've had students that are good at music, and I've had students that are good at art, and students who are good at history, and just all different things. And so we use all of those skills in here. Everything that you learn down the hallway in your high school or in the high school here, we're going to put to work in here. So some of the other things that I think are interesting is, number one, we have embedded credit, which means you can get credit for one science and one math or English credit in this class. I'm sorry, it's math and English. One math, one English class in this class. And then those are classes you do not have to take your senior year. So you don't have to take a senior year English. Or do you have to take another math course? Because you will have had them while we're in here working together. So that's called embedded credit. We also have what's called articulated credit, where we work with colleges to give you credit for the classwork that you do in here. We'll look at that here in just a second. So they get 6 hours through certification. So this is just like getting my students a scholarship. 9 hours, if they add 1 or 2 classes to that, they've already got a semester out of the way. And that's a pretty great thing for your students to already have a head start on college. The other thing is, through State Tech, we have a dual credit program. So my students can get 9 hours of credit for stuff that they do in the class that is usable anywhere in the state of Missouri, in any other colleges, whether it's the University of Missouri or whether it's one of the other schools, Truman, or any other 4-year program or even 2-year programs. They can carry those credits with them for only about $260. And so this is a great deal. And the other thing that we do is we get the MTA. That's the Microsoft Technical Associate Certification. And the MTA will allow you to, when you go out to apply for jobs, it will be something that's on your resume and that people will already know that you know how to do certain basic skills already in the computer programming. And everybody knows the Microsoft name. So if you're using the Microsoft name on your resume, that's a big boost. Okay, let's talk about some of the other things. Let's talk a little bit about how we run the classroom. First thing, when we are working in labs and you're doing coding, it's okay to listen to your music. In fact, a lot of times I'm going to be playing music in the background because I know that in the real world, college classrooms and businesses, software designers, there's a lot of noise in an office. So I want you to kind of get used to that and be able to just work through that. We take 2 5-minute breaks because we do work for 3 hours together, 3 periods. So we do take breaks, and those are your time to do what you want to. If you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to get a drink, if you need to do any of those things, you can do that on those times. Or if you just want to get on your phone and mess with your phone for 5 minutes, that's okay too. Okay? There's no homework. We don't have any homework in this class. And even though we might work virtual and you might have to do work that way, I'm not going to send assignments home that we haven't talked about or worked on. You'll be able to work on those things virtually, but I'm not going to send homework home and expect it back the next day. We do, sometimes we eat snacks here in the classroom. Sometimes people want to bring in a snack of their own. And because we are together 3 periods, that's okay in moderation that we do that. Also drinks. I don't mind you having drinks in my classroom. So if you want to have a drink, as long as you're responsible with it and act like an adult with it, I don't have any problem with that either. Same thing with the bathroom. I don't have you come up and ask me if you can go to the bathroom. If you're gonna go to the bathroom, you guys are old enough to know whether you need to go to the bathroom or not. I'm just gonna have you say to me, because I have to know where you're at, I'm just going to have you say to me, Mr. Wilson, I'm going to the bathroom. You do not have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. Unless you're going 5 or 6 times every hour, every day, then I'm going to start to think you either have a problem or we need to have a talk. We do study things that are outside of computer programming. In fact, every day we spend about 10 minutes to 15 minutes learning completely different things that don't necessarily have to do with computer programming or technology, because we know there's a lot of other things that we need to know how to do out there in the real world. Some of the benefits also is we have sometimes we have free time built into our classroom. We do work hard in here, and if we work hard all week, a lot of times I'll give you a little bit of time at the end of the week. But it's to my discretion on whether I think we've worked hard and done those things. Tori Cerner.
My name is Tori Clark. I'm a senior CS student at Truman State University. Going through the program, I was certified in object-oriented programming, so when I went through college, I had a head start over the rest of my classmates who most had never written a single line of code, and it allowed me to focus on expertise and mastering my skills, whereas everyone else had to learn something completely new and foreign.
Other things that we have a Vive HTC, so we can do virtual programming and look at stuff like that. We have 2 3D printers, so we can print 3D objects. If you're really into 3D objects and you'd like to work with that, we can do that also. We do have LAN parties where we all come in and there's lots of gaming and there's lots of eating pizza and sodas and cookies and all that kind of stuff, and just really hanging out. And if you don't like to game, to play computer games, I do, but if you don't like to, that's great. It's not necessary for you to come and play games. You can also just come and hang out and maybe do other things that you would like to do. We also, every year, we do a contest called By Jam. And at By Jam, we go up and win trophies. We work really hard. We develop games or applications, and we have a history of winning the Bite Jam first place, second place, and the People's Choice. As you can see, all of the trophies that are against the wall, those are ours from having gone to Bite Jam. So it was nice to have you stop by. Let's just take a little time, and I'm going to let you guys kind of ask some questions and do that. I have students in here. I'm hoping that there are students sitting around the classroom, and you're welcome to also ask them questions and find out, kind of some of the things that we do in here. I think one of the interesting things to know is most of my students go on off to college because they have such a huge head start. A lot of my students go out, and by the time they are in their early 20s, already have gotten their associate's degree, or 22, 21, 22, getting their bachelor's degree and going to work in the field. They traditionally make between $40,000 and $60,000, $70,000 a year, probably at the top end. And that's good money. That's, as we like to say, that's Happy Meal money right there. And we'll talk about that. Let's talk a little bit more, but let's talk in real. And the recording of Mr. Wilson will be done. Hey, nice to have you all here, and thank you for visiting Computer Programming.
We would love to have you in our class. Thanks for visiting.